We thought we were going to lose Lawrence Shankland for money. Then we thought we were going to lose Lawrence Shankland for nothing. But now it turns out that we might not even lose Lawrence Shankland at all. Welcome back, guys, to Son of Scotland TV. Lawrence Shankland, he is in the final months of his deal at Hearts. We thought he was going to be leaving at the end of this season in the summer, albeit Shankland hasn't really had the season maybe we were expecting him to have. It was a very disappointing opening to the campaign for Shankland, and we know that Hearts are in that horrible position right down the bottom of the table, and maybe that played a factor in Shankland not getting a deal, not joining a team in January, not agreeing to go elsewhere on a pre-contract. But now Hearts are moving up the table. Lawrence Shankland is beginning to play a little bit better. Still not banging in goals, but he's creating assists. He's just overall, he's playing a lot better now than he was at the beginning of the season. And I don't necessarily think that he should take the blame for that, because the whole team as a whole were playing absolutely shite. But now it looks like Hearts are actually entering into talks with Lawrence Shankland. And I believe there is a chance that the 29-year-old will stay at the club. I think that he will be a Hearts player next season. I think that he's looking at what's happening right now. You got Neil Critchley in with the Tony Bloom backing. I think Hearts have made some decent signings in January. We're climbing up the league table. Our form is really good. I think that Shankland will know. Still in the Scottish Cup as well. Who knows? Maybe we can win a cup. Maybe we can claw ourselves back into a European position. But I think Shankland will look at this team and think that, Hearts aren't dead. We can have success next year. It was a bad year for us, but we're salvaging it. We're making the most of it. And I think that Shankland will now look at what is happening. He'll maybe see that the move to Rangers isn't going to go ahead. And he might look at Hearts and he might think, you know what, maybe in the meantime, the best thing for me is to sign with Hearts again. And I think that he will probably sign a 2-year deal. Hearts have not given up hope yet of keeping him at the club, and neither have I. Shankland, though, spoke exclusively to Edinburgh News as he addressed his future. He said, quote, "I think it will be the situation with everybody who's out of contract, and it gets to a stage in the season where conversations do need to be had. Whether you're staying or you're going, the club's plan for the future. I wouldn't read too much into it, but I can imagine the conversations will happen at some point. I think we'll be looking to get this week out of the way first and deal with that." End of quote. So he says that he is expecting the contract negotiations to come up soon, and that he is almost open to them. He then went on to talk about, is he open to staying at Hearts? And he said the following, quote, "I've never said that I wouldn't stay. They offered me a contract in January 2024, so that's a long time ago. We've not really spoken about it since, and we've just got on with things. At the time, the club and myself were comfortable with the situation going forward, and whatever happens, happens. We'll see. It's at that point, there's nothing too deep about it. We'll just see what happens going forward." End of quote. Now, you've got to take into consideration, that was a long time ago. January 2024, a lot has changed since then. Back then, Hearts were in third place. Hearts were looking good. Hearts were looking to build on their third place finish and maybe, try and push Rangers for second, have a good campaign in Europe. We all know that the push for second went out the window after the first 6 games where we could not pick up a single victory. Our European campaign ended in disaster. But I think Shankland will look at it now, and there's probably less options for Shankland than there was back then. He's a little bit older. Doesn't look like the move to Rangers is happening. I think that Shankland, and the fact that he's coming off bad form, back then, Shankland had a 20-goal season and he was well on his way to getting another 20-goal season. Now, he's coming off, let's be honest, a poor season by his standards, and I think that has prevented him from a move. I think that will have less clubs interested in him just purely based on the fact that this season has not been great, and I think that will keep him at Hearts. I do believe that he will stay. So, yeah. My prediction is, guys, that Shankland signs a 2-year deal at Hearts, which will take him up to, 31, 32. I think he'll remain at the club. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, I think the rest of the season is crucial. If Hearts begin to, fall off, and if we finish at the top 6, then I think there's a good chance that Shankland will look and go, right, I'm going to end up elsewhere. But if we finish the season strong, if we get into the top 6, if we get a European spot, if we, maybe get into the final or something, Scottish Cup, then I think Shankland will look at that and go, you know what, there's worse moves for me at this moment in my career than staying at Hearts, and I think that will keep him at the club. But I think the next 3-4 months will play a big part in where Lawrence Shankland is going to be next season. Anyway, let me know down below, do you think Lawrence Shankland will stay, and do you want Lawrence Shankland to stay? Because I know a lot of people kind of not really interested just due to how bad he was and how out of shape he was at the start of the season. For me, Lawrence Shankland is a great striker, great goal scorer. He's proved that, look, you don't just get rid of a guy that has scored 20 goals in consecutive seasons. You just don't get rid of a player like that if you can keep him. So I'm hoping that we do keep him. Anyway, guys, that's it. Sun Scotland TV. Catch you in the next one. Leave a like, leave a comment, and until next time, peace.